everybody, welcome. Guess what? We have some sun today, and what a difference it makes. I'll be honest with you, today's the first day in more than a month that I actually feel healthy and without too many body aches, ear aches, headaches, etc. My chest is open and I have a little more energy. Now, I don't know whether it's just coincidence. I mean, I have been taking supplements, vitamin D3, magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, evening primrose oil, and so on. And the rest, I took painkillers, I took sinus medication, etc. as needed. But last night, I took the tub of CBD cream I got from a friend for my knee and my daughter for her ankle, and I rubbed my chest and shoulders with it. Got up this morning and I was almost a new person. I'm going to do it again tonight and see, maybe I discovered a miracle solution. Anyway, guys, I'm here to discuss a serious matter with you because the speculations are getting out of hand, and there is a very good reason why this needs to be addressed at the highest level as soon as possible. But I cannot get into the actual issue and the reason why it is so crucially important in one video. So I'm going to get into the actual issue first, and of course it concerns Harry and Meghan's children, Archie and Lily. Now, if you've listened to Paula M. last night, and I know there are other smaller channels also talking about it, then you will basically know, or you'll be able to predict what I'm going to tell you. Now, I know I'm going to sound like Dan Wootton now, but I was one of the first, if not the first, to bring Colorado into the picture. And if you go back into my old kiddies videos, you will find that I was sent a case out of Colorado for custody way back, a couple of months after Lily was born. I just could not prove it had anything to do with Harry and Meghan because no one in the transcript was referred to by name. I also could not follow up on it because when I went back the next day, the case was gone from the court records. I was also in contact with someone who had been in close contact with the Harkles in Tyler Perry's home. But when Meghan and Harry left for Montecito, they got some of their household staff from the same agency as Tyler Perry and other celebrities got theirs. So this woman knew one or two of their staff, and so for a short while, I think until about December 2021 or January, February 2022, I got fairly regular updates from this woman. Her husband was, however, not happy with her doing this, and for a while she had to go hide in their kids' bathroom to text me. But eventually she just stopped. Now, how do I know this woman was legit? Well, because like my one other trusted source, she had no problem with me knowing who she was, where she lived. She even sent me photographs of herself, her mother and her daughter, and so on and so on. She also sent me a contact and a number of the agency she worked for before her family moved. As you can imagine, the agency was not keen at all to speak to me. As you can imagine, it would have done their business no favors if it came out that the people they supply discuss their clients with YouTubers and the press. And I understood that, so I let it drop. What I did pick up at the time was that there was some money issue between the agency or the owner, manager, and Harry and Meghan. Anyway, I don't know enough to be able to tell you what it was all about. Anyway, That is how I picked up about the Colorado story, because the first lady told me that there was this blonde young woman who was living in the house in Montecito, and they were told that she was Archie's night nurse and nanny. They thought it very odd because she did not mingle with the other staff at all, and Archie also never had a night nurse before, at least not since they moved into the Montecito mansion. But one day they noticed that she was leaving, and all she said when one of the staff asked her where she was going was that she was going to a parents in Colorado. But there was one thing which perplexed both me and this woman, and I'm going to, just so I don't have to say this woman all the time, I'm going to call her LJ. And the thing that perplexed us was that Megan was obviously lying, and very cloak and dagger, because I don't know who, but someone asked Megan who the girl was, and she said Lizzie, the kid's nanny. But at some point, friends of Harry and Meghan came to visit, or it appeared to staff that they were friends. The husband and Harry took off somewhere, and LJ told me that the staff obviously overhear things, and it sounded like Harry and the husband went out for some Invictus meeting or business. Things changed after they left. Something happened between Meghan and the wife, and when Harry and the husband came back, I think the next day, it was a matter of a couple of hours, and the visitors left under a bit of a cloud, or in an atmosphere. After they left, there was an argument between Harry and Meghan, and at some point Meghan yelled at Harry something like, "We paid for their home and now she does, or she wants this." At some point Meghan also told a staff member that the woman was, and that happened in the kitchen, so she told someone in the kitchen, who it was I don't know, but she told someone in the kitchen that the woman was Lizzie, Archie's former nanny, and her husband a veteran who supported Harry with Invictus. Now, I'm not sure whether staff had put two and two together at that point, because the incidents happened a month or two apart. But LJ and I certainly did. I mean, two Lizzies, both Archie's nannies. No, of course, Meghan was lying, and Archie's nanny in England, we found out, was Lauren, wasn't she? A black lady, not a blonde, like both these ladies were. Then after that, and about 3 to 4 months after Lily's birth, I received that anonymous email with a link to that Colorado custody case. Then somewhere in between, we made that phone call to the cottage hospital the Sunday after Lily was supposedly born. We told them we were press and not reception or a doctor or the media office knew anything about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry giving birth there. The matron or whatever she was at the maternity ward just went, "Huh?" LJ and I thought it was very funny because her reaction was, "Huh?" And we had a good giggle about that afterwards. Then the week after, in other words, the week after Lily was born, Meghan Markle was seen at a hotel a couple of kilometers from her Montecito home having drinks with Marcus Anderson and her crying makeup artist without any sign of a baby. Then the proof of birth. Well, I think there's no doubt that what we saw in TMZ is fake, completely fake. And I guarantee you that should you, even now, request a copy of the birth certificate, you are going to get the same thing. So there's 100% a cover-up, and that is why I requested that the Heritage Foundation look into that as well. I never heard back from the Heritage Foundation, so no, I'm not any closer to any specific answer. Now, I cannot tell you how many people I have asked about that supposed proof of life and birth certificate. The American equivalent of Home Affairs, Homeland Security, immigration officials, an immigration lawyer, death and birth records officials. And I think if I have to say this one more time, I'm going to start pulling my hair out. But I am going to say it again. There is no such person as the Duke of Sussex, surname His Royal Highness. Those are titles, not a person. Who knows? I mean, tomorrow Archie may be the Duke of Sussex and His Royal Highness, and then what? Will he then legally be Lily's father and not her brother? Or what happens if Charles grows a pair of pears and strips those titles? No. I mean, I asked, and everyone assures me that there's no way in heaven or hell that death and birth records would have accepted a proof of life certificate completed like that. And the one bloke even said, and honestly, I'm quoting him. This is not coming from me. I'm quoting him. He sounded Mexican, Spanish. Anyway, he said, not even Americans are that stupid. And of course, those titles are not applicable to the United States of America, are not recognized, and should not even be used in America. Never mind to replace Harry's names on such an important document. Well, now there are a few channels saying they found the surrogate in Colorado, and there's even one saying they found her in Canada. Some say she's Lily's surrogate, some say she birthed both Archie and Lily. And then I think it was Paula M. who said she is 24 years old. Well, my dears, if she is 24, and even if she turns 25 sometime later this year, she cannot be Archie's surrogate in any way, shape, or form, and even unlikely that she's Lily's. And why? Because the law in the United States of America is that you have to be 21 to offer surrogacy. Somewhere between 21 and 44, says the law. In the United Kingdom, it's even stricter. If you had a child already, you can be a surrogate at 21. But if you are single or have not birthed a child before, you have to be 25 years old. You have to be 25 years old. In Canada, you also have to be at least 21. Now, if this young woman who says she birthed both Archie and Lily is telling the truth, then she has to be at least 28 or nearly 28. And why is that? Well, I mean, if she fell pregnant at 21, was pregnant for 9 months, it means she was nearly 22 or older than 22 when Archie was born. And Archie turned 6 in May. So we're talking about 22 plus 6 equals 28. If she only birthed Lily, then it's basically the same thing. Then she must be at least 26. And if she was younger than 21 when she became a surrogate for Harry and Meghan, then I'm afraid Harry and Meghan could likely be charged with human trafficking, etc., etc., they will be in big, big trouble. They might go and sit in prison next to old Diddy the Diddler. You know, in the past, I spent a lot of money trying to get to the truth. $19 here, $50 there, $49 there, $59, $60, $10, $9, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do it anymore because at the end of the day, what difference is it going to make? It's not going to make a difference to me. The bigger channels will still be believed and get more traction and more subscribers, and the palace is not going to react to anything I have to say. The fact is, and the fact remains, that something is not right. I mean, it doesn't matter what, but something is terribly off with those children's births. And I mean, it's not the children's fault. It all comes down to Harry and Meghan. But the fact remains, something is not right. The timelines don't gel, the information sounds a bit dodgy, etc., etc. And I mean, that, my dears, is a fact. Whether Meghan gave one big fart and then Archie materialized out of that, or whether he was delivered by a helicopter or FedEx, it does not matter anymore. By now the palace know, 100% know, something is not right, and therefore they, Charles, his Privy Council and Parliament, should remove those titles, all of them, until such time as Meghan and Harry prove that those children popped out of her body. And at this point, I do not even know how they are going to prove it. Via video showing how they popped out, with all their photoshopping and splicing. I'm not sure I'll even believe that. I think the only way would be if the qualified, registered doctors and nurses sign a document to state they witnessed the birth. And at this point, we want to be able to go look them up at the medical board. So their registration numbers should be dotted down right next to their signatures. Now, I've done this so many times. I've even sent a letter to Kensington Palace and one to the Queen still at Buckingham Palace. Things have, however, lately started moving again, and that is regardless of whether the 24-year-old DL, as she calls herself, is real or not. The people are fed up. We are tired and saturated with Harry and Meghan's BS, sick and tired of their lies, sick and tired of the fact there's no accountability. Meghan in particular can lie and lie and lie and lie until we are blue in the face, and tomorrow she's just on another podcast or another stage lying some more. If people think having Meghan on is bringing attention to their podcast or cause, they need to think again, because yes, I mean, she is bringing attention, but negative attention. And every time they invite her and sit idly by while she lies through her teeth, they themselves are becoming complicit in Meghan and Harry's fraud and schemes, and that is the truth. For me, I don't care anymore. Either the monarchy separates from Harry and Meghan completely and make them Mr. and Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor, or eventually face the embarrassment of the truth coming out. And then they will have to deal with the fallout, because whatever the truth about Archie is, he knows. Charles knows. I know he knows. I promise you he knows. And you know who else I think knows? Sarah Latham. She knows about Archie. Whatever there is to know, she knows. The description of allegedly or apparently or the person my friend thinks is or was Harry and Meghan's representative who visited the hospital while the baby was still there, fits Sarah Latham to a T. That, in my and my friend's opinion, allegedly. Okay, my dear friends, that is it from me for now. I'll be back soon, so until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.